Hello, and welcome to my channel. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and today I've got another tag video for you. But before we get into that tag, make sure you are liking and subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content. Post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with the occasional drop throughout the week, depending if I have extra content. With that said, guys, I was tagged by Grace Dion to do this video. I will have her video linked down below, and the original video, which was a joint creation by Abby Salter, Vish from Books with V, I think that was Kirsty Reads, and Joanna Souza, I believe, are the four who created that. So I will have their video linked down below as well, along with all the questions, which can be time-stamped, so you can jump around as you want, or if you want to do this tag, you can go ahead and do it yourself as well. With that said, guys, let's jump right into this tag. This is the Fantasy Characters Tropes tag. So, without any further ado, let's jump right on in. Alright, the first question is The Chosen One! The Chosen One, a book you recommend to everyone. And I've got two of those right now that I have been really trying to get people to read. I have been very much on the Malice train, along with Discworld, or specifically right now, Guards. I have read Men-at-Arms, but right now, start at Guards, or Malice for Faithful and the Fallen. Both of these are very accessible fantasy. It is a very low barrier to entry. They're both kind of basic, but at the same time, they've got really great stories to tell. This one, of course, is gonna be funnier, and this one is gonna have a little bit more hard-hitting. You know, as an introduction, this is a very good book for anybody who is into fantasy. It can be for, I wouldn't give it to like a kid, but you can give it to a teenager, you can give it to an adult. It's got a very wide age range that it appeals to. And it's also got a lot of the tropes done very well, so that they don't grate on you when they show up, and then, you know, they can get subverted a little later. And then, of course, Guards. I've been gushing about Guards. I love this. It's funny. It's got a great story, and it's got awesome lessons to teach. So these are my chosen ones! Moving on. Number 2, The Secret Heir. Ooh, a book that surprised you and turned out to be more than you expected. Now, this is Mike's fault. And if you saw me pull it into frame, it's got blue edges, and this is the deluxe edition of Dune. I did not think I was going to like Dune. I actually passed on Dune in high school. I remember walking into the school library, pulling it off the shelf, looking at it, going, oh, maybe, and then I saw like 9 other books, and I was like, nope, not interested. For something I was told it was old, I was told that it was a progenitor of, like, you know, a lot of the current series, and I'm like, well, if the current series are being done so well, why do I need to go back and read this? Whew! I was wrong! This book I read, I believe, I want to say November of 2020. I actually did DNF it at about 10%. Back in September, and basically I just had too much on my TBR. I was at the beginning of the month, and I had like 8 books in front of it, and like those books were calling to me. But then in November, I decided to read this as the last book of the month, and it changed everything. I had nothing glaring at me. I was able to give Dune my full attention, and I just love this edition, by the way. I mean, it's super cheap. Just look at all this. And then also that nice little, not only is this edition gorgeous, and it's got that golden Dune. It says, fears the mind killer, if you can see that there. I love this edition. Super cheap on Amazon, like 26 bucks. For a deluxe edition, it's not bad. But what Dune did for me was, it really reignited my love for sci-fi. I had kind of fallen off of sci-fi for quite a few years. And then I picked up Dune, and now I think I've read 3 or 4 since then. So definitely, chef's kiss, masterpiece. And I should be continuing this series either in August or September. I have to check with a couple people because I think it's going to be a buddy read. Dune. Love it. Fantastic. Read it. All right. Number 3, the Evil Overlord. Sorry, I'm a little hyper. A book that was poorly executed, or a book that fell flat. We're gonna go with books that fell flat. And don't hate me, because this is my favorite series, and so I'm gonna knock on it a little bit. But I would like to introduce you to what I call the slog. That would be the slog that starts with Path of Daggers, this is Wheel of Time, Winter's Heart, and Crossroads of Twilight. Arguably, people say that A Crown of Swords is where the slog starts. Crown of Swords is fine. These books do have great endings, but a lot of this just could have been condensed down into like a book and a half to maybe a book. This could easily have been cut down, and would have really. And I understand why Robert Jordan went back to visit a lot of the characters that he visits in here. We spend a lot of time away from these characters, and so you know there are some stuff that he wanted to like let you know what was going on. A lot of people don't care about it, so usually if you are reading The Wheel of Time, these are people's least favorite books. So these, sadly, let me down. They fell a bit flat because they're books. Alright, moving on. The Reluctant Hero. Oh, don't wanna! A book that you are not sure you want to read. And this was a cover buy for me. Basically, my buddy Nico bought it, and I was like, ooh, I want it! And then, like, I bought it, and now it's just been sitting on my shelf for, like, 3 months. And that's Priory of the Orange Tree. I've got a problem with buying books. Big, thick, chunky books. This is already, like, 800 pages. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. I've heard people hate it. People love it. It's on my TBR, but it's kind of near the bottom. I have no idea when I'm going to get to this. Basically, I think it's going to take a buddy read to get me to read this. So, if you have this and you want to read it, reach out to me and see if you can convince me to pull the trigger on it. Because I am super reluctant to read this just because I don't want to DNF it. And it's such a pretty... Look at that cover. Look at it. I mean, it's got that dragon on it and it's embossed. And it's just beautiful. So, let me know if you love this in the comments down below. Let me know if you hate it. Why is this so divisive? I mean, I know reading is subjective and all that, but I really do want to know because, I mean, honestly, if you want a buddy read it, jump into the Discord. If enough people say they want to read it, I can probably, like, convince Nico and John to, you know, make it a channel read-along or something like that, or like an unofficial channel buddy read. Who knows, but I'm not super excited for this. The Lucky Novice. He got lucky. He got lucky. Or was he just good? We don't know. But that, to me, is a great debut. And for me, that was Kings of the Wild. Now, my book brother Nico didn't super love this, but I think he got sold the book incorrectly, so he went in with different expectations, and so he got let down a little bit. I had perfect expectations of this. I had been told it was quirky. I had been told it was funny. I was told that this was basically like a D&D campaign mixed with like mixed into a fantasy book with a little bit of rock memorabilia or like tropes and stuff thrown in there. I loved Nicholas Eames' Kings of the Wild. This was such a good book. If you haven't read it, pick it up. It's really not that long. And Orbit has this thing where like that looks like a thick book, doesn't it? This is 466 pages. So it's super thick paper, and again, huge margins, wide lines, giant font. This is not a huge commitment. Go ahead, pick it up. It is fun. All right. A book that was formative in my life. So when I was about 13, again, this is not going to be a surprise to anybody. You know, I'd already read The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and, you know, that was fine. I think at that time I'd gone from Lord of the Rings to Xanth by Piers Anthony. Yes, I know. I actually thoroughly enjoyed a lot of the Xanth novel. I thoroughly enjoyed a lot of the Xanth novels when it wasn't too busy being childish. Specifically with books like The Color of Her Panties and things of that nature, and the whole magical underwear thing. That aside, it was a great series. It was a little tongue-in-cheek. You know, if you look at the map, it's Florida. Piers Anthony skinned a mystical world onto Florida. So, after that, though, I picked up The Eye of the World. And I know I just showed you 3 other books from this series from the slog, but the first book, I've probably read this at least 8 times. Maybe more. I love The Eye of the World. This book was super formative, and, you know, it pulls a lot of inspiration from The Lord of the Rings. A lot of people say that. It's true. It's not anything that's, you know, a lie. But what this turned into, after you hit books 2 and 3 and all of that, it is such a rich world. This book meant so much to me when it was introduced to me by my friend in middle school. It just happened, I think, to fall out of his locker. And I picked it up and said, "What's this?" And he's like, "Oh, you can borrow it. It's this big old book series." So I borrowed it. And then I went to I went to Borders. Excuse me. I went to Borders bookstores. R.I.P. And got like the 3 mass market paperback collections. And I think I got like 2 or 3 of those. And just fell in love with the series. I love The Wheel of Time. Without this series, I probably wouldn't have all these books behind me. I really wouldn't. All right. The Animal Companion. Come here, Fido. And that is a book that broke your heart and or makes you smile. I went with the one that broke my heart. And that is going to be Royal Assassin. And honestly, I could slot in any Robin Hobb book. I don't know what she has against making her character suffer, but that woman is mean. Her writing is fantastic. What these characters go through is just gut-wrenching. Poor Fitz. I am super excited to get to Tawny Man because I'm getting ready to wrap up Live Ship Traders. I'm actually reading Ship of Destiny right after I film this video. So I'm about 200 pages into that. I absolutely love Robin Hobb's writing. It's fantastic. I cannot talk enough about this. So that said, it's time to tag some friends. So, my friends that I am tagging, I decided, because he had such a strong reaction to getting tagged on the very first video that I watched, I'm gonna tag Ben from Overly Average Ben. He is absolutely hilarious. I love watching this guy's videos. He is going to blow up. I just know it. He's already got like, I think 150 subs, and he's got like maybe 4 or 5 videos. He is hilarious. Make sure you are checking him out. The next person that I'm tagging is going to be Caitlin at the.almost.book.doctor. I met Caitlin through basically the Dragonlance read-along that me and a bunch of other content creators are doing. This is going to be starting in the month of June. And she's really funny, she's really insightful, she's really smart. She's actually, I believe, going to school to get to be a doctor. So I do want to go ahead and tag her. She also does not have enough subs. So make sure you go and show her some love, watch some videos, give her some likes, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And this third person is basically I have to tag him because we have the same BookTube origin story. We were both bullied by Megan from Megan's Reading Revelations. That's right, Megan. I'm calling you out. We weren't bullied, but we were very much encouraged to start our BookTube channels, and that's going to be Domnish_books. He just started his channel. He's only got around like 25 subs, but he's already killing it. He's already done like a couple skits that are inside jokes that come from Discord into his videos when he did like his bookshelf tour and just all sorts of stuff like that. He is a older gentleman. I believe he's not quite 40. He's 39, but he just made the transition to BookTube, and he was a blogger before that, so he's very much an experienced fantasy reader, and I mean, his bookshelves are gorgeous. I just see books on there and just go, give me, I need those books. So Domnish, I am tagging you, and everybody go subscribe to Domnish. You are not going to regret it. I am looking forward to where his channel goes. So that said, guys, this is the fantasy character trope tag. Till next time, stay magical. Peace out.